I think technically, yes, it is episode 5.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the greatest show on earth, the fastest growing podcast in the space. We won't tell you what that space is because it's irrelevant. Just be glad you're here. This is called the Texas Two-Step.
Hey, bang!
Bang, bang, bang. All right. We are going to be breaking down the games to come. We've got one that's starting in an hour.
It's week 1.
What?
Week 1.
That's it. I mean, we're here. We had
here.
a couple games last week. I think we could talk about them. There were some levels of interest in there, but I'm excited. My wife is in denial. Courtney does not want to accept that college football is back.
Does any wife really?
I don't know. I do not know. But I told her, I thought in jest that that the Aggies were playing today, Thursday. I was like, Thursday football, the Aggies are playing. I have to prepare for this. And I was, talking something. And this morning she's getting Brooks dressed, and she was Daddies and Donuts. So she's like, y'all should match here. A&M putting on the A&M shirt. And I'm like, I can't wear this yet. It's not game day. She's like, you said Aggies are playing today. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, football's on. Football. She's like, football. You don't watch football.
Real men football.
Yeah, I was like, football. We're like, come on, you cannot be in denial. And I said, Courtney, football happens once a year. I have to be. She's like, what do you mean once a year? I'm like, it's like one season. It's shakes out. It's a long season. Like this, the shortest season out of all the sports, and it happens
only 3 months
a year.
I mean, I guess December, but I mean, half of December is just meaningless bowl games
At this point.
Yeah. So I mean, really, it's that's why I always get 3 months. You have 3 months, 12 Saturdays basically,
in one day a week. It's not like I'm a baseball fan.
Ugh.
182 games, Courtney, and I'm not missing a one.
Not even if there's a fire.
Yeah. Can I watch 12 days of TV, please? That's it.
I told you about one of my best days ever as a human, right?
Best human days?
Yeah, one of my best human days.
I'm a little interested in the non-human day at this point, but go ahead and tell me your best day as a human.
One of my best days as a human. So Laura was pregnant with Walker, and we had already decided like that was it. We were done. And with her, she doesn't do the pregnancies well. So she was like, you might as well just go get the little snip. I was like, okay, I guess. So
no, in no way is this direction actually going toward what I would qualify as the best day ever for me.
Yeah, gets my point. So scheduled for Saturday. I want to say it was sometime in September, maybe about mid to late September. Saturday morning, get the Xanax, go in there, snip, get a couple stock tips from the surgeon. Gives me the Valium after that to take, help with the pain. Laura drives. I'm feeling great. I get back to the house, lay down on my couch for the last 30 minutes of game day, and I didn't move for the next 11 hours.
Then you got up and got after it, but you made it back before game day was over.
It was the first scheduled surgery of the day. Made it back for game day, last 30 minutes, and Laura had never been more attentive, more loving, brought me anything I needed and wanted. It was the best day ever. I can't remember what the games were.
There's no way that the best day ever begins with a vasectomy.
Well,
like maybe the best afternoon ever. If you had one of the Men in Black tools that kind of like zapped your memory, maybe.
Well, I think for me it was the one day that she was around and she literally couldn't tell me, you can't watch any more football. The whole day.
I don't know. Now I'm wondering how maybe I can just fake a vasectomy.
Robert would know.
I don't know if he knows how to fake one. He certainly knows how to get a botched one, though.
Shout out, Panner.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So, so we're going to break down. We're going to talk about 10 best games, in our opinion, this week. We're just do a quick pick.
That's the Texas Two-Step teams.
Both of these teams, the Texas teams, don't have much of a challenge except for maybe themselves, and A&M knows no better than that from last year. So we're going to talk about whether we would take the ridiculous odds or not. And then, I mean, real quick, USC versus San Jose. We kind of talked about this on Sunday. Notre Dame. What I'm seeing a lot is, hey, Notre Dame, they're it this year, and a little bit of the same with USC. Great offense, no defense.
The Notre Dame love is everywhere.
Yeah, well,
I mean, give Sam Howell give him the Heisman already.
That's what exactly right. It's like, oh, this man just needed to be on a better team. Like, I don't know. So, okay, if we were to begin at
wait. First off, what are you drinking?
I got
how are you celebrating?
I'm not even celebrating. I tell you, I was up here. I was doing a project. You texted me real quick. I was like, I gotta go. So I just came to the next room and opened up the laptop. I didn't even get a chance to go like pour a nice little half glass of wine or something. Heck, I'd drink it out of the box if I could right now.
We'll be done enough. We'll be done in time enough for you to do that before 7 o'clock.
So, wait, a little GMT for you? Is that what I see going on?
No. So in honor of tonight, so Laura's at her friend's house.
Okay.
She'll be there all night. So I busted out the Aussie Wagyu ribeye. It was defrosting downstairs.
Nice.
So yeah, and I had read a long time ago that the top steak chef in New York, a couple years ago, they asked him what his favorite like kind of pre-steak drink was, cocktail, and he just said vodka, couple rocks, and a good squeeze of lime. And
wow.
That's it.
No kidding.
And so I mean, really, if I don't have like a kind of Vesper or something like that before a steak, that's what I go to, and I like it.
Do you drink while you're eating the steak also?
No. Once you have the steak, you got to switch to a red or something with a little bit.
Okay. So okay. Very interesting. So you're kind of treating yourself like you just got a vasectomy.
You know,
get the nice spirits in the Wagyu out.
Maybe it was the rain that came through last week and kind of cleared out all the grossness, but now it's back down like 98. It's less humid. There's a good breeze in the air. It just feels like kind of fallish. Just
football in fall, baby. It's coming. It's a brisk 98.
It is.
I'm with you. It has dissipated that nasty heat, that humidity. I was up in the morning yesterday, get up, about 6 to work out. It was 67, 68 outside.
For all you viewers, we're down in the northwest Houston area. If that's where you know, for all you.
That's right. God's country. But also kind of an armpit.
In spots.
At times. So it has been a brutal summer. So very, very glad that I know the whole country's been hot this year, but the fall is upon us. God has
electric vehicles.
Another season of football, and all will be right in the world.
That's right.
Okay, let's work 10 down.
Yeah.
The number 10 game. We're going to end with the best game of the week 1, which we'll say goes all the way through Monday. But the number 10 game, Ohio State at Indiana. What do you think about this?
I mean, I'll be interested to see the score and see who the quarterback is.
Right.
That's the only thing we're really going to get out of this. I mean, Indiana's not good. They, that one season they had with Michael Penix and that weird coach that got them all rah-rah.
Right.
But no, I'm interested to see who the quarterback is, because the old adage that if you have 3 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. So whoever they pick, see how they go, see what he's like.
Well, unless you're Ohio State, you have 3 quarterbacks. You have 3 quarterbacks, and you might even win the national championship with the third.
That was one time.
It was, but I can promise you, it wouldn't happen for A&M. But no,
I mean, as far as the line goes, OSU minus 30. It's a no play for me.
Is that the line? Is it 30?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to Indiana, which is Bloomington, I believe.
Yep.
It is interesting. Indiana has had those teams. Indiana, were they not in the Big Ten championship 2 years ago? They've been in the mix. I mean, I think it was kind of one of those weird years. I know it would be like, all right, can they be weird again? But at the same time, I think that offense last year was like really bad. 120th, something like that.
Well, what's his face over at Washington now? It's the Heisman candidate. That's where he was at.
Yeah.
Michael Penix. He was at Indiana for that 1 year. Yeah, so let's see.
Indiana's defense just isn't going to be good. It's not going to stop Ohio State, even if Ohio State had to run the ball the entire game. I don't think it's going to be a problem. The trip from Columbus to Bloomington, not the furthest trip in the world, and the Midwest is full of Buckeye fans. So I once went to a Alamo Bowl, Oklahoma State versus Ohio State. And I remember thinking, oh man, this is home game, sort of. Oklahoma State's closer. And it was like game time. The red wave came out of nowhere. And I was like, they just travel. So I think first game, I think Ohio State fans are going to be excited. I do think they'll take over Bloomington and probably dominate that game.
Okay, so I guess it was 2020, the Hoosiers finished number 13 in the coaches poll, 6-2, 6-1 in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But they did not go play for the Big Ten title because Ohio State was 5.
Then it was the final game. I think they played Ohio State, and if they won something, they could have ended up in the Big Ten championship.
Well, that was the infamous Penn State game, which my Uncle Kent, huge Penn State fan, still don't mention that game because he's like, that was a fumble. We never should have lost the Hoosiers. Ironically enough, he is a Hoosier. Yeah. No, yeah. So, yeah, the 2010, 2020.
All right. Okay, game number 9, UTSA at University of Houston. New.
I don't even know how to do it anymore. This is going to be I actually, when I was looking at the schedule, to me, this game really stood out as an underrated game for so many people around the country. I don't think know how good of a team UTSA is.
Mm-hmm.
That coach, and his name, if you give me 5 minutes, I'll remember it.
Holgerson?
No, the UTSA coach. He was at Gilmer, Texas high school and won a couple state titles. He came to UT.
Jeff Traylor.
Traylor. Yeah, Jeff Traylor. Thank you. And just was a recruiting machine. I honestly believe that if Sark falls, if Jimbo falls, if what's his face from Tech leaves to a bigger job, Traylor is going to be on the short list for a lot of big time schools. I think.
UTSA has been that school in the past. I mean, A&M had a massive basketball coach, Billy Gillespie, who took A&M's program back to the glory days, but just kind of camped out in El Paso. They were pretty remarkable last year.
They've got, I believe, what's that?
10 wins, ended up ranked.
Yes.
I know they got into the rankings, but this game's going to be interesting because they're both playing in different conferences.
Yeah. And U of H is they're I don't know what's up with Dana, with Holgerson. Right. It's just like the whole thing, him being there, to me was always odd, always strange. I don't think he's a great fit there. I don't know.
I think I have this feeling he was looking for an easier job. I don't know how much of a push he had to get back into the Big 12, but something tells me it's like, no, I didn't want to have to coach back in the Big 12 now with an even lesser team. I mean, I guess you could probably say that. Maybe could Houston be better than a West Virginia consistently? Maybe, but goodness, they're going to have a tough time recruiting.
Now that they're in the same conference, I believe there's more potential at U of H than there is at West Virginia. And I know the West Virginia fan base is rabid and they love their Mountaineers and take me home, country roads, all that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know much about the University of Houston and their facilities, their campus to get kids to come and play there. It's more like maybe you want to live at home and come to school. Maybe there's a bunch of talent in the 10-mile radius. But
when U of H got their tier 1 status, their tier 1 research status, there was a ton of money started pouring in. If you went to that campus 15 years ago and you went to it today and you weren't back, you would not recognize it.
Really,
it's still got that commuter kind of feel, but it actually looks like a college campus now.
Okay.
And that's been really good just for the university. And I think, and again, Tillman Fertitta has been that blank check for them, and it's been a really good thing. And so
it's nice to have one of those benefactors.
Look at
not every school, but the schools that kind of like, what would Oklahoma State be if it wasn't for T-Boone Pickens?
Oregon and Phil Knight.
There you go, for sure.
If you have one, it's all you need. Just get one.
That's it.
But I actually was really excited for this game. I probably will watch it. But UTSA -2.
They played last year.
They did. I love the over in this game, 60. I've actually already gone ahead and punched it on the thing.
Okay. Score last year was, I believe the game was in Houston as well. I can't recall that because they're playing in Houston this year. But 37-35, Cougars won. So there you are, 72 point. So yeah, that quarterback, Frank Harris.
He's legit.
4,000 yards, 32 touchdowns.
He's legit. He's probably the best player no one's talking about, I think.
They're getting some love, but I think Houston probably also lost some players.
Well, they did, but I think they've never had a great defense under Holgorsen, and I don't think that's going to change. So they're going to give up a lot of points to good offenses, but I also think Holgorsen is going to they're going to score some points too. No, the over actually when I was looking at all this stuff, I love the over at 60. I already hit it. It's kind of like if I had like a big play, whatever, that would probably be it.
Your big bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as to win, I like UTSA
on the road.
Yep.
Starting off strong, that'd be real interesting. Okay. Game number 8, Nebraska at Minnesota.
Tough one. Which thing?
Conference game. Big questions. First game for Matt Rule in Nebraska. New era again. I think this is the 5th new era in like 7 years for Nebraska. But I don't know. I don't know if you saw this. They're setting records. They set a record last week for the largest female sporting event attendance. They put a volleyball court in the middle of the stadium and they packed it. And I looked at it, I was like, that's pretty cool. But it's also all Nebraska's got going for it right now in that stadium.
It's tough to be a Husker. And we talked about this a couple podcasts ago. Like how does Nebraska get back?
Can they get back
to relevancy a couple years in a row, stringing 3 or 4 years? That's just going to be really tough for that school and that culture and that fan base. Yeah. And they'll accept it one day, I think.
I think Matt Rule's a good coach. He's had really good college success. I think a lot of people were surprised by the hire that he'd go there, but it's not that they haven't hired talent before. I think they really need kind of that maybe more mature leadership, maybe some NFL experience leadership. But going to Minnesota is not going to be easy. 10 years ago, Minnesota was a joke, but PJ Fleck is a heck of a coach also, and I think he's got a spot there. I have to imagine people have been trying to get him to come to other schools, but 9 wins out of the last 3 seasons.
Well, I think they re-signed him a couple years ago to a bigger contract, but we talked about it, and I forget which coach we did. It was Prime. Does PJ Fleck work at a top 15 program?
I don't know his style enough. I know he's definitely the row the boat, and I think he's the leadership guy. I'm trying to remember where he was before. Wasn't it like Central Michigan?
I think you're right.
Something like that. And he was getting a lot of, he was popular because of his leadership skills. And I think he's done what they would want him to do at Minnesota.
Western Michigan.
Okay, Western Michigan. Outside of, and I didn't realize this, then I heard it last weekend, the last team to three-peat college football championship was Minnesota, like in the 30s. So yeah. I really don't think Minnesota's sitting up there expecting that to ever happen again. But I certainly think they're pretty proud to have 9-win seasons and be in the Big Ten West conversation, on a continuous basis at this point.
So PJ Fleck has been at Minnesota since 2017, and 5-7, 7-6, 11-2 in 2019, 3-4 2020 COVID year, then 9-4, 9-4.
Man,
and wins. At some point, someone's going to give it. He gets another 9 or 10 win season. Someone's going to give him a shot. Someone's going to give him a chance.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering. That, like when Michigan State went to hire, did they not reach out? Did they not talk to him? When Nebraska went to hire, did they not reach out and ask him? I would be surprised, but yeah, I think he's sitting up there doing a pretty good job with what he's got. But all right, Nebraska heading to Minnesota. Minnesota does not have a quarterback. They had a 4-year starter last year. He's gone.
Minnesota's still 7.5 favorite. Man, I tend to lean Minnesota.
Yeah,
I just
I'm gonna go with the program. I think 3 9-win seasons definitely is consistent. Yeah. You have to assume he's recruiting and continuing to do what they've been doing.
Culture, right? He's got his culture set. He's got his expectations set with his players. He's got his players. Roles literally started from scratch. This is not. One thing about this is not a good opening game for Matt Rule at Nebraska. I actually don't think this is gonna be pretty. Now, the more I think about it.
Yeah. Well, I think you're kind of right. I'm sure Minnesota would love to put a stamp on that and be like, "We're your dad." So, all right, Game 7, Boise State traveling to the highly talked about Washington Huskies.
Woof woof.
Yeah. Leading passer Michael Penix.
Yep.
Pac-12 is stacked. Boise State would love to make a splash and get some early season publicity, but I think a lot of people even have Washington on their Pac-12 winner list. So not sure that anybody's seeing a slip up here.
No, the line at 14 is a little.
That's heavy.
It's kind of what's the Corso line? Somebody knows something.
Yeah.
It just seems a little low to me for a team getting that much hype playing a Boise State team. Again, maybe it's the Boise factor. Who knows? Seems a little low to me.
They scored a lot of points last year. Boise was kind of back at that over 30 points a game type of team.
And then, maybe around that.
Yeah, I just remember. I mean, they can put some points up.
Boise always play tough. Ultimately, though, yeah, I mean, like 14. Again, no play for me, but interesting to see how Washington handles it because Boise State's not just going to roll over and be a Arkansas State or some other team.
No, I think Washington wants to play this smart, and the truth is they want cameras on them, and they know that in order to win a Heisman, to get that kind of contention, you went out in the Pac-12 this year, great, you're going to make the playoff. If you don't win out, you need to have a lot of people talking about you and thinking how good you are. So if you have an opportunity to beat Boise State in a non-conference, that's not a nobody, especially if they're coming in with a returning quarterback, putting up those types of points. You want the eyes to be on you. What time's that game? Do you see that?
2:30 ABC.
Even better. So more people watching that game. If they can take care of business on the defensive side of the ball, I think a lot of eyes will be on Washington for the next few weeks, and that's exactly what they want.
I agree. To be kind of the dark horse Heisman candidate, he's got to get out to a good start on this. Four or five touchdowns, 3 yards. Look good doing. I agree. They want to get to where they go. I think they need a good step forward.
You have to get the attention. I mean, that is the burden of the Pac-12. We've talked about this. You got to make a splash so that people pay attention, regardless of the hours that you're playing, because they will have some later games, and they would love to have a Heisman winner. Washington would love to break through. Washington's been there, but they've been talked about, and they have never done an Oregon, a USC, Stanford kind of rise to glory on the Pac-12.
Well, I remember talking about this with your dad back, I want to say 2015, 2016, before Georgia became kind of Georgia. And we were talking about like kind of sleeping giants of college football. What are those?
Right.
And I remember saying Georgia was, is Washington a sleeping giant?
Oh. Can a small state school in Seattle be?
But it's not a small state school. That's the thing.
I'm only saying small in comparison probably to the schools that we represent here, but
population of a state. Okay.
Yeah, how many kids could be at University of Washington? What is that?
I just don't understand why if Oregon can do if Oregon can do it, get to a couple national title games, be a perennial sort of kid, we talk about that poor kid in New Jersey. That poor kid in New Jersey, can know who Oregon is. Why can't he know who Washington is perennially?
Yeah, no, well, because they're not on, TV all the time like Oregon is, because of their flashy helmets and Nike powers and all that, and they haven't had more popular players come out of there. 15,000 kids at Washington. Wait, no, I think I've got that's
so
wrong school.
The state of Washington currently right now looking at On3 recruiting, they have no 5 stars, but they've got
46,000. Wow, never mind. My bad. 46,000. That is a big school.
That's a huge enrollment. In a big city.
Okay.
So currently the state of Washington has 5 of the top 200 kids in the top in the recruiting rankings. This is interesting that the number 1 guy out of Washington, Isindre Afua, a interior lineman, committed to A&M, 4-star. Number 121.
Oh, interesting.
But interesting, of those 5 kids, not one is committed to Washington. You got A&M, looks like a toss-up to Michigan State, Oregon, Michigan, Oregon, and then possibly another Oregon kid. So,
all right. So I think there's a little bit of your, hey, why does the kid in New Jersey know about Oregon? They've been on the map. They've made a big name for themselves. They've a lot of great marketing. Washington's, they're sleepy. They kind of pop up, but
the top 25 kids in the state of Oregon recruiting this year, Washington, not one of them's committed to Washington.
That's a problem. That's
crazy. That's crazy.
They're obviously developing, or they're recruiting. They got Michael Penix. He came there.
Transfer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Big state school. I don't know if they'd be a sleeping giant, but they did win a national title in the early 90s. They were a dominant force.
Yeah. And what was the name of the coach from Boise State?
Peterson.
Chris Peterson. Is that right? Chris Peterson?
Chris Peterson.
When they finally got him to go there, a lot of people were coming after him. Everybody thought, okay,
Yeah.
What if he can do this at Boise State and he's just going one state over? He is going to be able to, and nothing.
He got him the college football playoff that one year.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right. First year, right? Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. We can probably speed this along. Yeah. Washington's gonna win. Not play for me at 14. Seems a little fishy, so not a play for me.
Okay. Tennessee hosting Virginia. Number 6 game. I doubt it's going to be close. Virginia Volunteers 11-2 last year. Currently number 6 in the poll. Heupel's back, of course, and then their backup quarterback Hendon Hooker's gone, but the other
Joe Milton.
Oh yeah, the dude's got an arm.
The dude can throw like 90.
Yeah. I mean, I've not an arm since like Jamarcus Russell. Have I seen? But he's pretty good. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be close, but what I'm looking at is just how good is Tennessee, because I think they're at 14. No, what is their ranking?
12.
12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I've got them as a dark horse. And
you do.
So yeah, I'm looking for the flashes.
Virginia's bad. Virginia's a bad football team. 3-7 last year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia's a bad football team. I think Tennessee is going to be kind of out to prove something early. I could honestly see Heupel sort of running this up a little bit, wanting Milton to get more comfortable with the offense, more reps. So I could see this running up. So it's minus 28, over under 56. I'm actually taking the over on this one. Not a huge play, but I think the over 56. Yep.
That's a pretty good take, because you could see Tennessee put up 56.
You could.
Now, this is probably not going to do much for anything, but Virginia did have those 3 student athletes that were killed on campus last November, and I don't think they played since. And so there is probably going to be some emotional charging to this game, where it's wearing numbers and coming out and representing, but it probably won't be enough.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think
they're on the road.
Tennessee runs away with it, and I think it hits the over.
It is going to be neutral. I think they're playing in Nashville, not Knoxville. Do you see that?
Where'd that game go? You're right. Nashville.
The Tennessee.
That's still a Tennessee home game.
Oh yes, come on. Nashville is quite orange. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, all right. Game tonight. I've got number 5 is Florida at Utah.
Yep.
Interesting shakeups. Florida had to leave early because of that storm, and then Utah is without Cameron Rising, right?
Is that official? I'm just trying to look for that.
I only saw the headline that said he was expected to miss the game.
Okay, I haven't seen anything either. What was interesting about the line that I guess the line came out around like Utah 7, and it actually dropped down. You can get someplace at 3.5, Utah 3.5. But now it looks like it's creeping back up there to 5.5, 6. I got it at 5.
Okay.
I think Utah, that home field advantage. I think night game, exactly. They're going to be amped. They'll probably have to prove some people wrong too. They'll have that chip on their shoulder. Coach is as good as coach as there probably is in the country. Yeah, I just don't think Florida's there yet. I think Florida's got a lot of young talent, and I know they've got some studs coming in. They got that quarterback out of Willis at 5-star next year. So I think Billy Napier will get turned. I just think this is going to be – he's going to have another kind of hard knock game tonight.
They're going to have a new quarterback, new system. Anthony Richardson's gone.
That's another thing. Yep, you're right.
Utah wins 10 games last year, strong. Cameron Rising's a player, man. So like, if he's in, I'm looking at that 6 point. But maybe that's why it's kind of been hush hush. And it's almost game time. I don't see anything either. But
I can't believe Texas let him get away.
Oh, really? You can't believe Texas let a quarterback get away?
Ugh.
Is there anything more consistent for you guys?
Touche, asshole.
Sorry. I was like, how many quarterbacks? I think we're going back like 15 years. Was it?
I don't even want to look at the list.
RG3 the first quarterback that got away?
Well, it depends on how you view get away. I mean, Andrew Luck technically got away, but Andrew Luck was never going to go to Texas. Like he was never considering them.
Well, maybe that's a little bit of what Texas's deal is like they expect every good quarterback to just come to them, and then when they don't, they say, "Oh, they got away." And even if let's say you had gotten one, like, all right, if RG3 had come to Austin, he would have played all 3 or 4 years and not have been considered. You know, the other quarterbacks wouldn't have been in consideration.
I've got my own theories as to why that's kind of been the case. Why it looks like a Cleveland Browns, rotating door of quarterbacks. But we talk about that in the offseason. Yeah, I mean, I think Cam Rising, if he plays, that just confirms my Utah pick. If he doesn't play, I'm still confident in it. I think Florida will get there. It's just they're going to play just a too good fundamental culture team, I think.
Now, what I don't remember is, did these teams match up last year?
They did, and that was their thing. You mentioned AR-15. How did Florida get better losing AR-15? How does Florida get better losing AR-15 and getting Graham Mertz? I don't see how they better. And now you have to go to Utah.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
Yeah, now they did win last year, though.
They did win last year.
Florida won.
Fluky circumstances, but yeah.
Yep. So
I agree.
All right. I'm excited about it. I think it's a great Thursday night game. So we're gonna wrap this up and go watch it.
Do you like Utah?
I do like Utah.
Okay. Yeah.
I do like Utah. If Cam Rising plays the game, I would have them beating the spread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think that school is going to get hyped. They're into it. Utah loves their football. Mormons don't drink, so they're all going to be in attendance. They'll get loud and rowdy.
Imagine if they did drink, how loud they get.
Game 4 of the 4th best game of the week, West Virginia at Penn State. The reason is because there's all eyes on Happy Valley. Is this the year Penn State breaks out, makes the college football playoff?
West Virginia is not a good team, and they've got a coach on the hot seat. I don't think if they're going to rally the troops and rally the fans and the players around this coach, this is the wrong game to do it. I think Penn State is going to be on a mission, kind of like what we said about Tennessee. I think they're probably going to play their stars a little bit more, get out to a fast start, especially that quarterback, get him more reps at Happy Valley. Is it a rivalry? Is Penn State West Virginia a rivalry? I know Pitt is.
Pitt definitely. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I guess my uncle, if they consider it. I doubt it, but
yeah, I don't think so.
West Virginia is just not good. Yeah, I mean, 20.5 Penn State. I would lean towards the favorite, towards laying the points, winning 21, 24 points. But I'll probably just watch this game for fun.
I think if Penn State's got the offense, they come out with the stamp. This is our year. Everyone keep your eyes on us.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. So yeah, that's it. And that's why we've got that one ranked there. And the same reason why the number 3 game of the week is going to be Colorado at TCU. We're not necessarily expecting some incredible matchup. We're not necessarily expecting to see playoff teams here, even though I hear that a lot of chatter at TCU is that this is the most stacked team that they've ever had. So we'll see about that. But all eyes on Colorado. What does it look like? having like 75 players on the roster or something, 53 players transferring in. Deion Sanders, in D1 coaching position. This is going to be exciting, and then go into Fort Worth for it.
I'm gonna throw out. It's funny you mentioned that. I think TCU saying this is the most stacked team they had.
Just those fan bases, but hey, TCU fans, but goodness,
where does purple? Maybe this is a question for the offseason. Purple Baylor versus Baylor. What's the more uppity fan base in a way?
Uppity or disconnected from reality.
Well, that might be Texas, but to say it bluntly,
TCU is uppity, but Baylor, I don't think realizes they're Baylor. TCU's got some trophies.
Different fan base, kind of like almost like you'd have to kind of study the different fan base mindset in a way.
Oh yeah, I don't want to study the mindset of Baylor. I think that is that middle child syndrome kind of thing. Like, look at me, I need attention. Wait, don't leave me out of this conference. No, we're really good. No, it's hard to come to our school. No, we have the tallest rock climbing wall in the state. I mean,
but then occasionally they step up and actually perform, and so it's like,
it's enough to piss me off. No, I'd much rather go back. Honestly, if we could go back to the conversation of, do you want football in 2027 or 2007? At least in 2007, Baylor was still on like some 0-84 conference game existence. Like, at that point in 2007, if I'm not wrong, they had not beat A&M in like 22 years. There was a random Guy Morris coach Halloween night. They went for 2 in overtime. I was at this game. I really thought like I should just stop watching Aggie football forever after that. But it was so awful. But to use that as an experience, and because I just don't forget the personal experiences, Baylor fans did not go in that game. They were in that old McLaren Stadium, or what it was called, on the other side of the tracks that had no parking lot.
Lloyd Casey.
Yeah, nobody was. Yeah, the new one's McLaren or whatever. Nobody was there. It was all maroon inside. All these Baylor kids were literally out in the dirt field, which is what their parking lot was. We were parking on grass in side streets. Nobody went in there. And the Baylor kids were giving away their tickets. They're like, yeah, go in. We're just going to drink in the field. And that was what they did. They were there for the party atmosphere. And I kid you not, other than the Baylor line, there was no students in there. And when the game issue happened, the security was non-existent, and they just let all the Baylor kids that were out in the field run into the stadium and rush the field and take down the goalpost and act like this was their doing. It was unreal. And I was just so livid. I'm like, you guys don't give a what, and now you're acting like you do. And ever since then, I feel like Baylor's just been on this little bit of a ticker symbol up, and it's just like, look, Aggies show up.
Man, we haven't even started the grind my gears segment yet, and you look at
grind my gears is fake fan bases that wake up on third base and think they hit a triple.
All right, well, back to the game. TCU minus 20.5. I think TCU wins. Maybe play the over here. I don't know what we're gonna get with Prime.
Don't know. I mean, I think we know what we're going to get with Prime. We have no idea what we're going to get with that.
I'm just going to sit back and watch it and enjoy and just kind of pick it apart and see where it goes.
1-11. How many kids came from Jackson State? I don't know. I don't know that number, but the majority. I mean, we're going to have them at quarterback. Are they competitive? Were they really good? Well, we already know that they're recruiting D1 players. They're flipping number 1 recruits from 4 to 6.
Yeah, but I mean, one player doesn't make a team. They just lost a ton. I'm interested to see it. I want to see it, but I'm not going to play it.
They also lost Garrett Riley.
They did, and I think no one's really talking about that one. I think that one's going to be huge.
You're losing Garrett Riley and Max Duggan. I think Max Duggan dug them out of a lot of near losses. I mean, how many games last year did they win by like less than 3 points? It was significant.
Well, but it wasn't just the one fact they won. It was like he willed them to win. Like, and I'm not trying to knock the guy, but there's those good kind of players. We've seen him. Tebow was that way. Vince was that way. They just will their teams. They refuse to lose, and their teams are just going to come up with defensive stands or make plays late in the game to give those guys shots, and they win. And he was that kind of player. And so I'm not going to knock him, but they got so many breaks and so many bounces of the ball. They just did. And
TCU lost coordinator Garrett Riley, quarterback Max Duggan, leading rusher Keandre Miller, and leading receiver Quentin Johnson.
Yeah,
maybe they had some good recruits, but you said it was a 20-point spread?
20 and a half.
20 and a half. They beat the Buffaloes last year 38-13. So,
but that was the game that the quarterback got hurt and Duggan came in after Duggan got demoted second team.
That's true. Wow.
Anyway, I think this will be more of an interesting game talked about after the game than it will pregame.
Yeah, it will be. Okay. All right. Number 2 game, and we'll go quick. North Carolina versus South Carolina, neutral site. Charlotte, North Carolina's ranked. South Carolina's bringing back a lot of talent and coach Beamer. So I think there's gonna be a lot of eyes on that. We got the Duke's Mayo Classic, I think is what they call this.
Terrible freaking name.
But the Gamecocks beat 2 top 10 teams last year to roll out. Now I know they're gonna be unranked, but what do you think?
Are we gonna get good Spencer Rattler or bad Spencer Rattler?
Well, I know it's kind of the conversation with Bo Nix, but was Spencer Rattler maybe like he finished strong? I wonder if maybe he just matured and got better.
I don't know if he matured from that. He just seems still like an ass to me. But North Carolina minus 2.5.
Crazy.
I tend to lean that, even though North Carolina I don't think has a defense. But if this Drake May kid's the real deal,
he was good.
Then should be able to outplay Spencer Rattler. So yeah, coin flip game to me. The over under 64.5.
Woo!
That's intriguing. Just how bad that North Carolina defense is, but I know they'll score points. So I don't know. Maybe if I get a wild hair, I'll sprinkle some stuff.
I probably would keep money out of that game, but I definitely would tune in because of that 64.5. There's gonna be fireworks.
Yeah.
Okay, game of the week. LSU versus Florida State in Orlando, neutral site. LSU, the Bayou Bengals travel hard, but Florida State is ready for this, and we're talking about a 90-minute drive from Tallahassee to Orlando. Nah, that's probably further, but still, that state is full of Florida State fans.
I've heard several people talk about it too. Odd choice for a neutral site game, Orlando.
Camping World, yeah. I mean, Orlando's they've got a big stadium there.
Do they? Okay.
Isn't that the out? Where? No, it's not the Outback Bowl.
Jacksonville seemed a lot more like maybe have a better venue, even maybe Atlanta to Tallahassee than that. It's just kind of an odd pick to me for Orlando to be hosting that kind of game.
Yeah, especially with a storm coming through, because there's no getting there early and going to Disney World at this point, which probably there might have been a little bit of that.
No, and we've touched on it. The loser of this game really is going to have to look in the mirror and grab themselves up by the bootstraps to get back on track. But conversely, I think the winner is going to be feeling really good about their chances of a natty, at least getting to the playoff.
Ranked, both will make either one will make big jumps. Close game last year. I can't remember where they played. Florida State won by a point.
Yeah, but you remember how that game ended? It was like a weird missed extra point.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest. It was the weirdest game. I remember watching it on my couch, and our neighbor is a big Florida State fan, and so I was watching over his game at his house, and I had to call him 5 times to wake him up. Said, "Hey, look at this. Watch what's happening in this game."
Yeah.
Crazy game. I think if I'm gonna do anything, even though I picked LSU to win the West, I'll probably sprinkle the money line Florida State.
Well, LSU won the West last year. I kind of forget that.
Yeah.
But in that first season, and they're returning a lot of players. Like LSU scares me on paper, and unless they mess up, like I hope Florida State is really good because I want them to win the game.
Yeah. I think this is one of those games I will probably sprinkle some money on something just to have some interest and then sit back and watch it and enjoy it.
I haven't studied Florida State enough to pick them to win. I want them to win. But something tells me if there's a complete team this year, bringing back the players and the coach, LSU is in the mix along with Penn State and Michigan.
LSU's got the better coach. You could make an argument Harold Perkins is going to be the best player on the field for LSU on defense. And maybe he finds a couple plays there and they squeak it out. Yeah.
Daniels is not bad.
What's that?
Jaden Daniels is not bad. I mean, he's a good quarterback.
He's not, but I think there's a fair amount of people who would say Jordan Travis is as good, if not better.
Yeah. No. I think you're right. I think Travis is going to get the nod to the better quarterback. If Jaden Daniels wins this game, all of a sudden he's in that Heisman conversation.
I think whatever quarterback, as long as they play well, is in the Heisman if they win. Yes. Yep. But again, taking LSU -2, 2.5, I'd probably just take the money line and just get the better odds on a toss-up game like that. But if I had to pick a winner, it's just tough to pick against LSU.
Yeah,
but
at least they're on the far road. I mean, I think there will be some home field advantage to Florida State, and hopefully Florida State's hungry. But I think Brian Kelly is like a maniac. I just think he's always angry and is always just like go, win, win, win. And that team will probably be in that same sort of mentality. That's the LSU mentality.
Swamp Tiger. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. What's the line on your game against Rice?
35.
35.
I don't have the over under, but 35. No play for me. But just sit back and watch it. Enjoy watching that burnt orange on the field again. I want to see these young freshmen come out and ball. Yeah. I want to see Quinn have a clean game. No picks, no dumb decisions. I want to see his fundamentals. See if they've improved over last year. Just that kind of stuff, and then just give me vanilla. Give me vanilla. Give me like a 40. Yeah. I take a 40, 17, 35, 13 win, something like that.
Yeah.
The cover, whatever. Just get ready for Bama.
It's probably a smart move. I'm sitting over here at a 39-point spread with New Mexico coming in town. I will not be taking that.
Well,
it is not A&M's fashion to blow people out. It is not Jimbo's personality to prove any point. You could see this being 38-7, 38-10, and I think they're like, yeah, that's good. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of Max Johnson play. I was going to ask you, you think you're going to see Arch on the field?
I think we see Arch on the field at some point.
Yeah. So, if
it's like 50-0, then yes, I think you see Arch and Malik play. Because I think I don't know, I haven't seen who's number 2 on there behind Quinn officially, but I do think you see one or two of them play.
It's a little bit you're kind of pandering to some fans. It's going to be hot.
Why would Wegman not play? Why would Wegman not play most of the game? Just the Petrino offense.
Oh no, I was talking about Texas to a degree. I think you're going to pander some fans and get Arch on the field because a lot of people want to see Arch Manning. The big get for people. It's going to be hot. They're going to be there all day. You're going to be blowing out Rice, hopefully, even if he just plays the fourth quarter. Now he gets injured, everyone's going to be really angry, but at the same time, the third string is injured is what it is. Yeah. But no, I'm glad Wegman's a starter. I think that's the right move. I bet he's more skilled anyway, but it's also the political move. Why keep a fifth-year senior as a starter? You need Connor to play, and you need him to play well for 2 years.
But it was obvious Wegman was better than Max Johnson. That was obvious.
I don't know about that first. The first little bit you saw Wegman on the field, by the end against LSU, like Wegman played incredible and certainly played like the starter. Max Johnson, I think he's just kind of like that. I think there needed to be some leadership on the team. You had a ton of freshmen on that team last year. He still didn't get the starting job, but I think he understands offense. He understands football. He's a big body. They needed that, but then he just got broken thumb like out of nowhere instantaneously. So I think Wegman's probably very well prepped and is very good.
I can't believe I have to argue that Wegman is the man against you.
I don't know. I don't think it's an argument. The only thing would be of consideration is why it wasn't announced early on, unless it was purposely waited to the last week, just so there wasn't like overhype and he's getting microphones in his face.
That's Jimbo. That's gotta be Jimbo.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit of Jimbo. Yeah. So
no, I like Aggie to cover 38. I got it at 38.
39. Okay.
I got it at 38.
Okay. Good move, really. Then you got. I'll say this. Petrino would be the difference, because maybe Jimbo doesn't run up the score, but old motorcycle Bobby probably will.
I could see them new offense, new scheme, getting with Miami coming up. You're probably not yet. You're not going to empty the playbook, but I think you do a lot in this.
Check out our new sports car.
Sports
just kind of like you're gonna go show it off. Kind of, it's like look how fast we can go.
Do you show it off, or are you just trying to see how fast can I hit that turn?
Okay, you're two different questions. Are you showing other people the car? Or are you testing the car?
You're not showing other person. I think you're gonna see. Okay, how quick can I get this new car up to 80 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Or but I'm gonna fall back right when I hit it. But how quick can I get there?
All right. The first race is next week, but let me just see how good of a let me see what she can do.
That's right.
Yeah, you might not be wrong there.
Yep. All right.
Okay, man.
That was fun.
Yeah. Talk to you tomorrow.
That's the most excited I've been in a long time.
What?
I think the most excited I've been.
I'm excited. I gotta go watch the game.
I know. All right. That was fun.
Okay. See ya.